Hey, this is Charles Onyet with IGN. I'm playing Guild Wars 2, and I was going to create an Asura character just to show off what their creation's like. One of 5 races in Guild Wars 2. You can see Char, Human, Norn, Sylvari, and Asura. Asura are, as you can see, a smaller race, not quite as tall as the rest, but they are very smart, and they are the inventors of the world, and they have all sorts of advanced technologies that are shown off in their starting city. And they also have floppy ears. So you can't really, I mean, you can adjust this height slider, but they're still going to be smaller than anyone else in the game. They have different physiques you can pick from in the creator. If you want to make a burlier Asura, you can do so. Adjust some skin markings on the character. And for head options, let's see, we have quite a few different hairstyles here. I guess we've got a headband, got a standard spiky cut. We also have a massive fro, which that may have to happen. And then you can adjust the color. Yeah, definitely going to have to go with this. Oh, that's the headband color. Okay. All right. You can adjust the face to reflect whether they're happy or sad that you just dropped that haircut on their head. And then you can go to their ears, which are a pretty prominent feature of the Asura. Go for some more modest types, or these giant, those are enormous ears. Go for the, actually, let's go with these ones. Those are a little over the top. It seems to be the direction my character is going anyway. But then, yeah, you get a bunch of sliders here for very fine-tuned adjustments. You can see I'm changing eye color as well. Customize the nose, mouth, chin, and jaw, and also ear customization, particularly important for this race. Those are like just socks. Oh, and head size, in case you don't want big head mode on your Asura. Regardless of what you do, your Asura is going to look goofy. I think that's the whole reason to play them in the first place. Oh, my haircut! No! Oh, well. I guess I can still use it in social situations. But yeah, then adjust your armor dies and things like that, and then you go through the rest of your character creation process. Oh, there we go. No helm at all. Yeah, that's happening. Pretty dignified. And then these choices will adjust how your story really plays out. See, synergistic seems like a good call. We go with Bronk here. And then, yeah, you sign your name, and you're off. You're into the starting zone. And next I'm going to show off the main city. I actually think it's one of the coolest in the game. Okay, so here I am in the Asura main city. I'm just at Vista on the lower level, looking out over the expanse of nothingness that sits around it, which is because the city is on top of this huge cube sitting in the middle of the world. The Asura are very big on cubes, and you can see how it just kind of sits here in the middle of all this land. Actually, a really cool effect on the map. As you zoom in and out, you can see it has this painterly look to it, and you zoom in, and now it gains more detail. Zoom out. It never really looks worse or anything like that. It always looks cool, just sometimes with a greater amount of detail. So around the city, you can talk to the various crafting helpers. So there are crafting stations all throughout these lower levels in kind of this triangle. At each end, these are all crafting stations you can go to. And you can also find this, but just really cool effects with these multi-layered kind of lights underneath the walkway here. Again, a much more, I think, distinct style than the other races. I mean, the Sylvari obviously have their giant tree in their city and everything like that, but I really like the style of the Asura. And also, you can just see in their the animations, the way that I'm running around here. You can see their ears flopping around. They are kind of, they look like they're almost in danger of falling over, like you can see when I stopped running there. I don't know. It's really well done. I really enjoy the look and the tone of the Asura. Then you've got another huge ArenaNet. Seems to be pretty pretty big on the giant floating structure in the center of main cities, and that's exactly what you get here. You get this enormous cube with banners off of it. On the sides on all of these 3 protrusions from the ground, you get actually moving elements to the pyramid-like structures there on the top, the blocks that are kind of separated from the rest. Also, all these glowing plant elements and the constant... I mean, it feels like you're in some sort of weird, like, fantasy computer while you're here. And they're big on their golems as well, so you can see them running around. Another element I wanted to show off here was... or is the vistas. So all around the game world, and I can show that there's a vista right here. I've discovered it already. They exist in other towns as well. And when you see the one on your map, you can head toward it. And if you're able to access that area, you can then just get kind of a sweeping view of the area. So it's ArenaNet's way of showing off its work, which is quite impressive and worth showing off. But it's also just another collectible and an opportunity to do something that's more in line with platforming than it is with what you might expect in standard MMO gameplay. And this one seemed to be a little less conventional than the rest, so I just wanted to show it off. The Vista is actually up here. You can see a floating map, but that's how you can locate them. So I actually need to run up these trees across the side of this pyramid structure here on this little conveniently placed ramp. And then this isn't very obvious, but you need to stay on these branches running across the top of them to cross a section that you would otherwise just fall down and fall back to the ground over there. So if I can stay on this branch up through here, which I should be able to, yep. So now I'm at the Vista, I hit F, and I'm treated to a view of the city. And I do think this is my favorite city from the ones I've seen. And you can see some really nice effects over here where you've got the whirring gear, and you've also got these kind of shimmering electrical effect gears over there as well. So that's a look at the starting city, and I'm going to head out to a higher level area beyond the 1 through 15 zone for the Asura to check out some questing out there. Alright, so now I'm pretty far out from the starting city. I'm up in a 15 through 25 zone. The city's over here. And I am going to participate in an event here that should have several parts, I believe. I need to follow these Skrit creatures as they run in and steal golem parts. And I'm trying to catch up with them right now. I'm playing a thief, and what I have equipped right now is I have dual pistols in one slot, and I also have a short bow in another. The thief can't actually use that many weapon types, but if you look at his skill menu, his skills are interesting in that the number 3 skill will often change depending on which offhand you have equipped. So there's a little more interconnection between... It matters more which items you have equipped in your offhand because they modify your primary hand skill set. Except in the case of the short bow, which is just... Oh, God. Okay. Which is just 5 skills by itself. You can't actually equip an offhand in that case. Looks like we're about halfway through this quest. And so events happen in the world. You can see this kind of orange circle on my minimap here. Events will just sort of happen as you're running through the world and will draw players to them. So there was never... Nobody had to be on the same quest chain to actually... Oh, run away. Golem is doing crazy spinny thing. It's not like we all had to accept the same quest to get in here. It's just these events will happen in the game world, and once they're active, they just draw players naturally because you get rewards from them. So it makes sense to take part in these events. They're also fun, which helps. But yes, there are in-game rewards as well. So I'm using a short bow right now, and that is actually good for... Oops, my inventory is full. Oh, man. I probably should have taken care of that before coming out here. Let's hope I don't find anything particularly awesome. But I'm using a short bow because it's mostly about AoE. My dual pistols is pretty much about single target damage, does very high single target damage. Short bow is about AoE. My trick shot skill here, if I can hit anyone with it, such as all of those people down here. So the basic attack will actually ricochet between targets. So that's already hitting multiple people. My 2 skill is an explosive arrow. You can see there it exploded. My 4 skill is a poison effect field that will do a lot of damage. And actually the way I've set up my character is my heal that I have active grants health when I attack. So if I do use this choking gas that fills an area with a poisonous cloud, I'm doing damage to multiple targets, and it's actually an easier way for me to heal. It is more effective in that regard. And then my other ability is a disabling shot, and actually I'll do it right now. There we go. So I leap back while doing an attack, and that has a movement speed penalty effect on whoever it hits. So it'll slow someone down, which is important because with this particular weapon set, I need to keep my distance. So, I mean, I do have my, I can do my rolls away from combat, my dodges. Those are limited by my endurance, so I can't just do them endlessly, but it is a good idea to move around while fighting because you can actually auto-attack just while you're running and things like that, so there's no need to really stand still. Let's see, these guys are just about to the top of this hill here. You can see the zone design. There are natural elements, and then there are also these kind of ancient magical ruin elements, which you can see in the background here that kind of mimic what you see in the Asura starting city, or the main city. So we're heading up to some Skrit caves here, and I believe we're going to get attacked a few more times, trying to keep these guys alive. Drop an explosive arrow down there, some poison. Oh yeah, I actually got snuck up on from behind, so I need to perform some evasive maneuvers to stay away from them. Looks like everyone's taking care of these guys pretty handily, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. Not what I meant to open. Back up. Oh, and everyone's attacking the fireflies now. They're not going to survive long. I did get some money there. I don't know where that guy's going. Okay, he's coming back. Then if I switch over to my guns, I can use these for a bit, and I just have a main... my main auto attack here actually has a bleeding effect associated with it, which is pretty cool. So it does do damage and also damage over time, which should be useful in a fight that I believe happens right after this. Okay, so here we've completed the Skrit defense. I got experience, I got karma, which I can use to purchase items from specific vendors, and I also got money. So that is why events are always useful to do, because you get a whole bunch of stuff for completing them. Now there should be a crazy robot that pops up here. Yep, here we go. Crazy rampaging golem, and now I'm going to use my single target stuff. So I have a bleeding effect on my auto attack. You can see it stacking there. I have this body shot, which actually drops defense by 50% on targets. I have unload, which you can see right here. Does a whole bunch of rapid shots, so good to use after using body shot. Then I have headshot, which is a very short duration stun, good for an interrupt, and also black powder that should blind an enemy when it hits. And if I use my class skill, I can actually shadow step up to them and steal, and then I'll actually unlock another effect once I get up there, which I just used. I'm going to stay away from him, though, because I am not meant to be in the center of a fight. He's going down very quickly, and there we go. I just got a whole bunch more experience, karma, and coins. I don't think he has anything on him. But that's an example how one event will lead to another. You don't have, I mean, events aren't the only thing you can do. There are lots of other assignments you can do with NPCs that are represented by these hearts on the map. And actually, if you go to those NPCs, that is where you can spend karma points to buy new items and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff to do in this zone that I haven't seen yet. But yeah, each zone is a pretty big experience. This is the 1 through 15 zone. Very large, lots of events going around here all of the time, and many of them actually tell little stories while they progress. So it's not just, you know, kill random stuff. The actual goals for the quest are usually, you know, they're told through here, and you can actually see story elements take place while you're participating in the quest, which is just a nice little bonus. In addition to, you know, it's an MMO. In addition to it being a social experience, to an easy way for players to get together and kill together and actually you know, have fun together instead of just compete against one another, which is kind of the whole deal with Guild Wars. That is one of the main goals of ArenaNet behind making this game, and I'm not going to be able to collect that because my inventory is full. So yeah, that's a look at a thief and also some of the higher level questing with the Asura. And we should have more Guild Wars coverage coming up towards launch. Launch is August 28th, which is actually very soon. There aren't any more large-scale beta events, but hopefully we can get you more coverage before the game launches.